Welcome to a deck profile video on my Gear Cancer deck. This is the build I ran on our Team League Springfest this year, which only lost to Asher of all things, because I got crit every turn. Excuses. I would have done this with my real cards and voice, but I see people prefer to watch Card Fighter's channel doing deck profile videos, while eerie music plays in the background. Let's get started. For my starting Vanguard, I ran one copy of Chrono Dranzy. Emphasis on one copy, because I see some players running extra copies like the clan bandwagoners that they are. Even with the unrestriction of TikTok worker being the first Vanguard, Chrono Dranzy is a much better card in this build. For my triggers, I ran 8 critical triggers comprising of 4 Bombard Hog and 4 Hard Thump Worker, 4 Hypnosis Sheep as my stand trigger, and 4 Chronomedical Hamster as my heal trigger. I ran 15 grade 1 cards consisting of 4 Steam Tamer Archer, 3 Merry Block Dragon, 3 Transit Dragon, 3 Revolver Draco Kid, and my tech card, 2 Steam Soldier under Lulu. While not a ZTB unit, under Lulu can be searched out by Chrono Dranzy. As for her ability, she can return 2 units in your bind zone back to the deck and let you draw and soul charge a card. She gets back those bind Archer and trigger you bound for a cost to get another Archer back from the drop zone, or return those Hamster or Hog you bound after countercharging. Reloading your deck with triggers and perfect guards is so asinine that it will tilt your opponent into playing standard format, so they will never face this kind of cancer again. My grade 2 lineup will make you question my sanity. While I ran 4 copies of Metal Party Dragon, I also ran a single copy of Chronospin Serpent for that grade 2 stall games. Everyone thinks grade stalling is dead after the new rulings, not realizing that Bushiro just added that rule, so decks like grade 1 7 Seas Rush could never happen again. Moving on, I ran 4 Cruising Dragon and finally 3 Steam Knight Caliber. If you're wondering where's Spearhead Unicorn, I suggest you go play a cheaper and terrible version of the deck called Gold Paladin. Cruising Dragon's main job is to get Chronomedical Hamster as quickly as possible, more on that later. And Calibum is only here to get rid of opponents' forerunners early in the game. This move is such a kick in the balls that a certain Pale Moon and Grand Blue player from my locals never move their starting Vanguard out the soul when they're fighting me. The grade 3 units are 4 copies of Chronojet Dragon Z and 2 copies of G. It is important that units like Transit and Cruising Dragon have access to their abilities at all times. Riding in on Chronojet Vanguard can lead to 16% of your deck being offline or people cheating you off an ability that shouldn't work without a Chronojet Vanguard. For my G units, I ran to Split Pegasus, 2 Avenir Phoenix, 2 Gear Next, 1 Altered Dragon, a Sebris, and 2 copies of Chrono Visor Heritage. With how I built the deck, I can easily go into a second Heritage, especially when I can return my heal triggers back to the deck after binding them, thus increasing the importance of Cruising Dragon being active at all times. Not only is Zereth Dragon Dust expensive, it works better in a timely build than in this deck. It is unneeded in this build. As for the lack of Mystery Freeze Dragon, there's rarely anyone in my area rich or asshole enough to afford playing no shield G's, so there was no point in running it. Finally, I ran 6 G guards, because I'm that paranoid. 1 copy of Rafana to simply screw with Shiranui players when they use Rin. 1 Eternity Uluru, because she is best grill. 2 copies of Hetera Round Dragon, because I don't play using the Japanese restriction list. And 2 copies of Elishu, whose only purpose is to speed up the use of Chrono Visor Heritage. Otherwise I'd run 2 retroactive Uluru instead. And that concludes my deck profile on my Gear Cancer deck. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments how this is a bad ripoff, because Card Fighters never needs to explain their card choices.